Who's able to apply for an open work permit? Basically, temporary president. Okay, guys. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I truly appreciate you. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to apply for your open work permit. What is an open work permit? An open work permit is basically just a permit for foreign nationals to work here in Canada for Canadian employers. So you're basically not restricted to one employer. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I did this process with my husband and I kind of have a little experience with it in terms of what to do and what not to do and the documents that you need. So if you guys are interested, keep watching. Who's able to apply for open work permit? Basically, temporary resident permit holder or international students who recently graduated from a program and who are eligible for applying for a postgraduate work permit. I'll just go ahead and add a little list of other people who are able to apply for the open work permit and also leave a link in the description below where you can check that out just to see if you fall in any of the category that they listed. Okay guys, so I'll share a quick tutorial with you of how you can apply for your open work permit, and I also discussed a few things in there, so if you are not clear on anything that I discussed, you can always shoot me a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to explain it for you guys.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is type IRCC, which stands for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. Okay, so on the landing page, you're going to scroll down to My Application, and then on the search bar at the top, you're going to type Come to Canada. On this page, you search for do you want to come to Canada or extend your stay. And the reason why I say search is because it's not always at the top here. Sometimes it's all the way at the bottom. So just make sure that you search for that. Okay, so the question states, do you want to come to Canada or extend your stay? So if you're outside of Canada, this is the link that you would, this is the application that you would search for. Or if you want to extend your stay, if you're in Canada, this is also the application that you would use. So just select check your eligibility. And from here on out, you'll be asked a series of questions. Make sure that you do not misrepresent yourself and make sure that you answer each question to the best of your ability. Because if you misrepresent yourself, in your account, there will be some documents that automatically gets populated. If you do not put in the correct information where the questions ask you, you may not get the correct documents that you need. And if you submit your document and something is missing, you risk getting your application denied or delayed. If your application gets denied, you will not be getting a refund. So the first question here is, what would you like to do in Canada? Obviously work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Temporarily more than 6 months. Okay, so select the code that matches the one in your passport. I'll use Jamaica. What is your current country territory of residence? Okay, that's Jamaica right here again. Okay, do you have a family member who is Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years or older? Yes. What is your date of birth? I'll just select some random information. Maybe 1985, May 13th. Okay. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid U.S. citizenship and immigration services number? No. Do you have a written offer from an employer in Canada? No. You do not have to have a job offer to apply for an open work permit, but if you do have one, it carries a little bit more weight. So it wouldn't hurt if you have one. But if you don't, this is nothing to be alarmed. You're good. You can still apply. Do you plan to work in one of the following categories? For me, it's a no, but just make sure that you read through everything because one of these jobs here may apply to you. Will you be coming to Canada with a spouse or common law partner who is or will be working in Canada as a foreign worker or is or will be a full-time student at a university? This applies to me, so I'll go ahead and select yes. Are you of working age and a dependent of a person who is or will be working in Canada, or a full-time student at a designated learning institution? The second one applies to me, so I'll go ahead and select yes. If you're not sure what a designated learning institution is, just select this link here and it will give you some information on that. Have you recently graduated from a participating Canadian post-secondary institution? This doesn't apply to me, so I'll select no. What is your marital status? Married. What is your province of destination? Alberta. If you're visiting multiple provinces, select the one in which you will be spending most of your time. Okay, so this is the results page. You may be eligible to come to Canada to work with an open work permit. So just select continue. And you're going to be asked some more questions. So just select continue. What type of work permit do you want to apply for? This one applies to me, but if you get yourself a job, if you land a job, your employer may have what's called a labor market impact assessment. So this one would apply for you. And just select next. Are you accompanying a family member that has status in Canada or has recently been approved to come to Canada? So if you're not sure of what a particular question is saying, you can just select the question mark here. It just gives you a little bit more explanation. This means you will be staying with a family member who is already in Canada or has applied to come to Canada and has been accepted as a visitor, worker, or a student. So in this case, yes, this applies to me. Just select next. Have you ever been arrested, been charged with, or convicted of any criminal offense in any country? Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician? Yes. No, actually, I'll just select no for the sake of this application. Have you visited or lived in any one of the designated countries for 6 consecutive months in the last year? No. If you're not sure what designated countries are, you can just research that. Do you want to work in one of the following jobs? None of these applies to me. I'll just select no. Again, go through each of these just to make sure. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? If you're applying with someone else, you can just select yes. For this question, in my case, it's a no. Are you giving someone access to your application? No. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo for an application to come to Canada, otherwise known as a biometrics? Yes. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees or are you fee exempt? Yes, I will be paying my application fees. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? Yes, you can download an app called Tiny Scanner. It's really good to scan documents and convert them to PDFs. Will you be paying your application fees online? To pay online, you can use a credit card or a debit card. So I'll just go ahead and select yes. So on this page, you'll get to review your answers. And if you realize that you make an error or you want to change something, you can just click on the little pencil icon to the corner here. In my case, I'll just scroll to the bottom. I think everything is fine. Just select continue. And here you go. This is the document checklist page. And this shows you all the documents that you would need to complete in order to submit your application. And it has steps 1 through to 9. Just make sure that you read that carefully. This information here is called the reference code. You also need to save this information here because you're going to need it for your application. Also, if you are applying within Canada, the application form that you would fill or you would see here is called the application to change status, extend your status, or remain in Canada. But because you're applying outside of the country, it's the application for work permit made outside of Canada. And then these are some supporting documents that you also need to submit. All right, and then we have a breakdown of the fees here, the work permit and the open work permit holder fees for a total of $255. So you see, you can't make any errors, you can't make any mistake, you can't misrepresent yourself, because you will lose this. You will not get a refund. All right, and then after which you just either log into an account if you already created your account, or if you have not created your account, just register for an account. And that's where you're going to need this reference code. In the process of creating your account, you're going to be asked 3 questions that you have to create 3 answers for, because every time you log in, those questions will be randomly proposed to you that you have to put the answers for. So make sure that you save the answers somewhere that you can easily or quickly retrieve them to log into your account.
Okay guys, so along with the documents and the document checklist, I'm going to be talking about additional documents that you could include with your application just to make it a little bit more solid. And this can be in the form of supporting letters or other supporting documents. I'm going to just give you an example of what I did with my husband and I. For when we were applying for his open work permit, we basically included like a letter of explanation explaining why I wanted him to come here and work and stay with me here in Canada. And on that document I included my UCI number and my document number. Along with that explanation letter, we also included a copy of his resume, a copy of like proof of funds, a copy of my lease agreement at the time, a copy of his transcript, and a copy of his degree. And the reason why I did this is because immigration officers deals with applications by the hundred or the thousands daily or weekly, and I wanted to make it so that when my application arrives in front of an immigration officer, I wanted it to be as clear-cut as possible. I didn't want them to be thinking or wondering what it is that I'm trying to say or what it is that I'm trying to do. And if they have to reach out to you and ask you for additional documents, that delays your application. If you missed something, you may also get your application denied, and that's $255, guys. That's a lot of money. So just to make sure that your application is as solid as possible, you want to make sure that you include as many documents as possible. Okay guys, that's the end of another video. I really hope it was helpful. I really hope it was insightful. I really hope you took something away. If there's something that you need more explanation on or clarification on, please go ahead and shoot me a comment down below. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so and click the bell to be notified when I post a new video. And if you have not yet liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It's free, guys. You're not being charged. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on my next video. Bye guys.